नमस्कार दोस्तों, all realities are created realities. Whatever is happening in the organization is a socially constructed reality. And the silver lining is that all that gets created can also be created with a sense of responsibility, with a sense of mutuality, and then the creation which is going to be there in the organization is going to be something which is more complete and something which is going to serve your value proposition in a better and a wider way. Ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about a very soft but a subject which has very hard consequences, and the subject is of culture. I'm not going to talk about the concept of the culture in this video because I'll have a separate video on that. But what I'm going to talk about today is that who creates this culture, okay? Where does these assumptions which are there on the floor, where does these belief which the people in the organization have, the pessimism, the optimism, the inspiration, the transparency, where does all this come into the organization? Ladies and gentlemen, this all comes from the leadership team. And this video is about the leadership behavior. In any organization, the team which is the so-called leadership team, how exactly this leadership team behaves, the type of relationship which is being lived by this leadership team. It is said that speed of the engine is the speed of the train, and direction of the engine is the direction of the train. And I have added something more to this, which is that the engine alone is not train, ladies and gentlemen. So, the leadership behavior and the leadership team is the engine of the organization. They are the people who carry the organization to the desired destination. That too, within the time frame, with the cost, with the profit, and with the satisfaction to the people who are there in the train. So, the leadership behavior is of critical importance when it comes to the type of a culture which organization lives. So the first behavior which a leadership team needs to show is the behavior of appreciating mutuality, okay? I have observed that, there are organizations where there are certain functions which are being given more importance, and there are certain functions which are being undermined. And, end of the day, please understand that, organization is like a body, okay? And everything which is there in the body has a relevance and needs to be mutually understood, and the value add to each other also has to be with that sense of relatedness. So ladies and gentlemen, the first behavior which the leadership team has to show and live is the behavior of appreciating that, we make difference to each other. Together only we are intelligent, and no one is safe in the organization unless everyone is safe in the organization. So that's the point number one. And the point number two is, what is the quality of the conversation which happens within this leadership team members, okay? And it's not only about the quality, it's also about the consistency with which these conversations happen, okay? I have seen organizations, they have a very interesting model of conversation where people get into periodic conversation and the difficult subjects or the crucial subjects are being conversed with openness and with transparency, and of course with the sense of responsibility. So the leadership behavior, the conversation within the leadership behavior, the openness of the conversation, the relevance of the conversation would determine what gets created in the organization, okay? The behavior number three, which is of the behavior of respect, okay? So how the different functions in the organization respect each other, okay? And respect doesn't mean a formality of greetings or felicitations, no. It's about your openness to relook into your own assumptions about other function, the alignment with the other function. So the respect which is re-inspecting the belief and the connect and the relationship which you have with other functions in the organization is about the respect, okay? So the organizations where this respect element is present, trust me, those organizations are in a better position to add value to their value proposition, okay? And the behavior number fourth is the behavior of the trust. Trust sounds like a very soft subject, but trust me, trust has a business case. I was reading a book which is completely on a trust, and it talks about how exactly the trust makes things happen faster in the organization and how it reduces the cost in the organization. Okay, so the organizations where there is a trust within the leadership team, things happen faster and things happen with lesser cost. Okay, and then comes the behavior of help, which is the fifth behavior I'm talking about. How exactly this leadership team helps. Okay, and help means, how do you appreciate the difficulty of the other function, how do you relate with that difficulty of the other function, and how do you remove the sort of impediments which the other function is getting into. So the value of helping each other, or this system of helping different functions in the organization, I think is very, very important. So ladies and gentlemen, the 5 behaviors which the leadership team has to show and live, because if the leadership team lives this behavior, trust me, it's all going to go percolate down and cascade down to the teams which are at a middle level, or the teams which are at the junior level, and you will see that the whole organization would show that seamlessness, it would show that flow which is required to serve all stakeholders who are there in the organization. So leadership behavior is of paramount importance, and these 5 elements, though they sound simple, but I've seen in an organizational dynamics where people have their own egos, people have their own desire to create their own fiefdom, people create silos, and there is a dynamics which operates there in the organization. So with all these 5 behaviors, I think what is very important is the culture of being simple, culture of being open, culture of being mutually appreciating. I think this all is going to make a difference. So leadership behavior is of a paramount importance. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen, and then I come back to you with some more interesting and more powerful concept on the subject of culture. Bye-bye and have a great day. Thank you very much for listening to me. Do subscribe the channel if you're not subscribed, because your feedback is what is a fuel to me, and that's what makes me keep going. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.